The same writers who said the Lakers would advance are once again trying to work us into hysterics. The weekend Dodgers series in St. Loser is vital to the future of the rotation. And Quentin Byfield said he played much of the Kings season injured. Good morning. I'm James. And this is your daily dose of sports and snark for the greatest sports city in the world, Los Angeles. This is the faithful Angelenos Morning Report. It is May 1st, 2026, and the rent is too damn high. But on the plus side, we added a subscriber to the Angeleno Familia yesterday. Thank you. We're going to do our best to keep you informed, whether we're at the home office or on the road. And if you like being in the know about LA sports, clickety-clack the like button. Clickety-clack the subscribe button. There's a notification bell. Hit that. It'll let you know when we drop new content. Sharing is caring. Let people know we exist. And by all means, comment. We have an expanded look at the scoreboard today because of the playoffs. There were no games involving LA teams yesterday, but today the Lakers are in Houston at 6:30. Game 6 of the first round of the NBA playoffs with the Lakers up 3-2. And once again, bow chicka wow wow, the sports writers of America have indulged in panic porn. Headline from CBSSports.com. Lakers face historic collapse. What about this from Captain Emo of the LA Times, Bill Plaschke, who called the series over last week? Quote, danger ahead. Meanwhile, over at the LA Daily News, Lakers are in peril. So yeah, once again, these bipolar bastards in the Fourth Estate can't quite seem to make up their mind what the hell's going on. Now, what I can tell you that is going on is ESPN reported Kevin Durant is out again for the Rockets. This is something we went over in great detail a couple of days ago. A bone bruise is structural damage to Durant's ankle, which should take a month or two to recover. So who are we kidding with this? Oh, he's getting 24/7 treatment. If he's out there, I'll be the first to admit I'm wrong, but it is structural damage to the joint. There's no creams, there's no injections, there's no amount of masseuses with or without the happy endings that should be able to get this guy on the court. Be extremely skeptical. Now, speaking of skepticism, I'm also skeptical that the Lakers are going to be the first team in NBA history to surrender a 3-0 advantage in an NBA playoff series. I don't buy it. First of all, LeBron James believes he's in the conversation for the greatest of all time. You are no longer in said conversation if you choke away a 3-0 lead. At some point, LeBron James is going to be like, I don't care if I'm older than dirt. I am going to basically do whatever it takes to turn the clock back. James knows this. This is why he was cussing in the post-game presser repeatedly after Game 5. So, gut feeling, he's going to take over at some point. All he has to do is do it for one game. Moreover, we have been amplifying one of J.J. Redick's goals for the series, ball control. He wants the Lakers to compete for rebounds, but that's not going to happen against the Rockets. Not that well. They're not going to match them on the boards. But you can always control how many stupid passes, how many bad dribbles you create. Why does turnovers matter? Because Houston has attempted 69 more shots over the course of these 5 games. Some of that, yeah, it's from offensive rebounding. But a lot of the easier shots are transition baskets from turnovers. And LA, in the 2 losses, has averaged more than 20. So yeah, cut down on the turnovers. If you see that in tonight's game, those scales seriously tip in LA's favor tonight. The formula is simple. Limit the turnovers. Luke Kennard and Austin Reeves shoot for a higher percentage. The first part The fewer turnovers, that's on the players. The latter part, Kennard and Reeves, that's on Redick. I rewatched much of Game 5. Much like how the Lakers don't have to double team Durant because he's not there, the Rockets are not double teaming LeBron James as much. So in other words, James could theoretically start trying to drive a lot more, and when the Rockets adjust, then all of a sudden you start Xing and O'ing, you start getting open shots for Reeves and Kennard. That's how I see it. If not tonight, then in a theoretical Game 7. Either way, let's all have a little decaf. It ain't a thing yet. There is no historic collapse until after a theoretical Game 7. We're not there yet. Also, the Dodgers are at St. Loser at 5:15. It's Emmett Sheehan versus Michael Liberatore. We're going to talk more about that series in a few minutes, but with that out of the way, let's get to the news. Blake Snell threw 39 pitches in 3 innings in his second rehab start for Ontario. He's been promoted, if you want to call it that, from the Inland Empire to the Midwest Manure Pit of Oklahoma City. He's scheduled for 60 pitches on Sunday. Now, Snell has been saying all along, feels pretty good. This is all about building up a pitch count. They want to get him to about 75 before they start talking about bringing him back to LA. So a few days ago, we were talking about who Snell would bump from the roto. It's starting to look a little imminent. And that's what makes this series this weekend in St. Loser, Missouri so intriguing. Because the 3 candidates to get dropped from the rotation all face the Cardinals. All of them. Starting with Sheehan tonight. Then Roki Sasaki Saturday, Justin Wroblewski Sunday. Now, Scribes who cover the Dodgers say the team has not flinched in its commitment to keep Sasaki in the rotation, despite his 6.35 ERA. And Dave Roberts keeps describing Wroblewski as, quote, a major league starter, unquote. In other words, no pressure, Emmett. We kind of like you. You might want to flame guys by the Mississippi River tonight. Just saying. Quentin Byfield said he played much of the second half of the NHL season with multiple injuries to his right oblique muscle, including a tear. Now, granted, I was not too high on the guy during the season because he was supposed to move into the lead center role that Anze Kopitar had for so many years. And because he didn't, that in turn puts the Kings franchise on exceptionally shaky ground. I would rather build a mansion on the San Andreas Fault than to put my chips in on Quentin Byfield bringing the Kings a 3rd cup right now. But credit where it's due, once Byfield healed from those injuries, he did go on a scoring binge in the final weeks of the season, and he finished with a career-high 24 goals. And I'm still going to say the future of the franchise is on shaky ground. It absolutely is. Here's why. It's not just the oblique problems that he had this year. Byfield broke his ankle in 2021. He was sidelined with other illnesses in 2022, 2023, 2025. Kopitar, meanwhile, averaged 76 games per season for his entire career. He was a picture of stability. So don't get me wrong. It's cool that Byfield played through the pain. But by my count, he's had a grand total of 1 healthy year. Is that really where you want to hang your hat? And by the way, I do realize that for the entire week, ever since the Kings were eliminated by Colorado, a lot of what I've said is crying over spilled milk. And I prefer not to do that. Totally understand. But I couldn't help but notice thanks to the grand mal incompetence of Rob Blake, Luke Robitaille, and Ken Holland, that the Kings couldn't eliminate Edmonton, but Anaheim could. Moreover, I was mentioning how the Kings needed to rebuild their franchise around 4 cornerstone type of players. The type of players that got the Kings their 2 cups. A two-way center, that would be Kopitar, got to replace him. A goalie, i.e. a franchise-level goalie like a Jonathan Quick, not the retreads that the Kings have been breaking out the last few years. An aggressive winger that hits everything in sight, which they might have in Alex Laferriere, and a surefire lead defenseman to eventually replace Drew Doughty. I'd like to remind everybody the Kings had the surefire lead defenseman to replace Drew Doughty. Only he plays in Minnesota, Brock Faber. And by the way, the Wild are still in the playoffs. Traded for Kevin Fiala because the Kings said they needed to increase scoring. Only the Kings never increased their scoring. It's not Fiala's fault. It's because the Kings had no idea how to build a team. And I'd sure love to hear how the hell Ken Holland's going to dig his way out of this mess. We talked a lot about the Lakers earlier in this episode. The Lakers are moving their G League team from South Bay, where they played at El Segundo, their practice facility basically, moving the team all the way to Coachella Valley, where there's an arena where they can sell some tickets and maybe move a little goofy looking merch. I don't know how to react to that. I mean, I guess it's okay to have a G League team to pay and watch or something. But all I'm thinking is that Coachella killed the future of music, and now I wonder if they're going to kill the future of the Lakers. Coachella is not exactly a formula for success, guys. You leave the IE to be a success, not the other way around. But you let me know what you think in the comments thread. Talk to me about what you think with the Lakers' chances tonight in Houston. For that matter, who do you see stays in the Dodger rotation once Blake Snell is ready? And if you enjoyed the update, don't forget to subscribe to Faithful Angelenos. We're talking LA sports every single day. Thank you for watching. I'm James. We'll be back tomorrow. Faithful Angelenos is a Keon Cortell Queso production. Take care.